Hello everybody, this is Hammer Striker here. Today I've got a Glock 26, this is a Gen 5, and I've got the Walther PDP F-Series. Please don't forget to check out our website. Go to our affiliates page. You'll find discount codes for things like Mantis Axe and Core belts. Link to that cool little bore light that we use for lighting up the barrels. Use those links, it will often save you money, never will cost you any additional money, and helps the channel. And please consider supporting the channel on Player, formerly Utreon, where we can do some types of videos that are no longer allowed on YouTube. This one here, the Glock 26, this is a Gen 5, is the latest in Glock's lineup of what turns out to be a very popular concealed carry handgun, holding 10 rounds. And of course, like all the Glocks, it'll take the magazines from the bigger ones. They just kind of hang down. You know, you don't get a nice integrated grip, but they work, and they work reliably. But 10 rounds is how this is meant to be carried, and often called the baby Glock. This is a good pocket pistol, a good concealed carry pistol. Used to be a very popular ankle gun, even though nowadays the 42, 43, 43X, that series is a little bit better for that. These haven't changed much over the years. They've gotten front serrations. U-dot sights have stayed pretty consistent. The MOS currently isn't available, but I imagine that'll change fairly soon. Now when you get into the PDP, PDP is the evolution of the PPQ. This one is the F-Series, which has a thinner grip, overall grip profile. Front and rear serrations just like the PDP regular series. Of course it's optics ready, and it has 3-dot sights if you don't put an optic on it, or in this case even if you do, the sights are still there. Depending on what optic you have will determine how usable the sights stay, and they are adjustable. So this has got very nice sights. Comes with 15 round magazines. It will take PPQ mags as long as they're the button release version, so the paddle release mags won't work, but the button release will. So that does open up an assortment of larger mags, and like the Glock, they would just kind of hang down a little bit. But you don't have as good a grip integration on the F-Series when you get to the larger mags. But again, they work, they're reliable. Now the one magazine that has the bigger base plate will fit pretty close, but it is intended for the regular PDP, so it's going to be just off by a little bit, but close enough it'll work. And functionally it'll be reliable. From a feature perspective, the PDP kind of beats out the Glock. Other than the front serrations, what I've got in my hand is pretty much the same as the Glock 26 has been all along. Finger grooves have come and gone. They did add replaceable back straps with the Gen 4s. This has had replaceable back straps since it came out, and it has full ambi capability. The Glock does now in the Gen 5, but that's a newer thing that came out with the Gen 5. They're both reliable. Both of these have been dead reliable. They're both easy to shoot well. However, the Glock 26 is a 2-finger grip. So if you've got weaker hands, you may have a bit of a challenge with this guy, because it's 9mm, but it can still be a bit snappy when you've only got 2 fingers to hold onto it. But this short, stubby little grip makes it really nice for concealed carry. It's easy to stick in a pocket, and inside the waistband, hiding the grip is not really a problem. If we look at the dimensions, and I'm going to have to stop and I'm going to have to get a box to put these on because of the optic is kind of going to throw the PDP off. This old gigabit router will work perfect, or switch will work perfect for this. So you can see from a length perspective, the Glock is a hair shorter. It's 6.42 inches versus 6.5. That's not going to make the difference of whether you can conceal carry one or the other. One thing you will notice in this position, there's no rail on the Glock 26. None of the subcompact Glocks have a rail. There is a rail on the PDP, so you get a 2-slot rail. Trigger guard lasers and things like that is how you handle that on the Glock 26, the 27, that territory of guns. Now, grip height, I'll put the magazines in to make it fair and equal. Grip height, there is a very noticeable difference. 4.37 for the Glock and 5.4 for the PDP. Walther hasn't had a subcompact like the Glock 26 for a while. They had a P99's SC, got one of those, works really great. It's about the size of Glock 26. And they had a PPQ subcompact, got one of those. It works well. They haven't introduced one in the PDP lineup. So this is the closest. The one that you see here is the closest to the Glock 26. There's a 4-inch version of the PDP F-Series. That would put it closer to the Glock 19. So it's kind of in the middle there. So if you're looking for a small Walther PDP, this is the smallest it gets right now. Put this guy out of the way. Comfort perspective, they're different. So the grip angle on the Walther is more standard across all different guns. It fits nice in the hand, nice deep beaver tail. You're very unlikely to get slide bent. The Glock has the Glock grip angle, which some people like, some people don't. It either fits you or it doesn't. Not as pronounced a beaver tail. You're a little more likely if you have puffy hands to get slide bit, but I've never been bit by this. One thing that may make a difference is the trigger. So let's get the mags out of these two and compare the triggers. Unloaded, unloaded. Okay, so let's start with the one that can't win this battle. Minimal take up, nice crisp wall. It's about a 5.5 pound trigger. It's a really nice crisp break. Decent reset, you're right on the wall, no additional take up, and then again a nice crisp short break. The reason I say it can't win this battle is this is basically a PPQ. The PDP is an evolution of the PPQ. Really the best striker fired trigger out there. Minimal take up, a little less than the Glock. A very light, very crisp short wall, but it's definitely lighter than the Glock. That's the entire reset, just a hair of take up to get back on the wall. And again, that short, crisp break. The Glock trigger is a decent trigger. The Walther trigger just kind of, it's in its own league. Nothing really compares to the Walther trigger in a striker-fired gun. You have to go into DASAs in single action mode or an SA-only gun to get a trigger that rivals the Walther. So if trigger is really a big thing, the Walther's going to win that hands down. If concealability is important, then of course the Glock is going to kind of pull ahead. The U-dot sights on the Glock, I like them. They work well for me. They're easy to see, really clear. Some people really don't like them for some reason. They are plastic, but I've never had them break. You can get night sights for it, and of course Glock's been around long enough. All the different manufacturers have sights to replace these. So if you don't like the U-dot sights, you can replace them. The 3-dot sights on this, which is going to be hard to show you because the optic is in the way, they're a little bit on the small side. They're still nice sights, they're still clear, but the dots themselves are a little bit small, so they can be a little hard to see. But overall, they're good sights. They are replaceable. But of course, most likely what you're going to do with this, if you don't like the sights, is you're going to slap an optic on it. So you kind of have your choice with the Walther. The Glock, it's going to be some sort of iron sights, whether they're plastic or not. It's going to be a sights because there isn't an optics-ready version of this yet. MSRP might make a difference to you. The Glock MSRP is $550, and they tend to sell right around that. The Walther's MSRP is $649. You probably get them less expensive than that, but if you just go MSRP to MSRP, the Walther is about $100 more. I think overall the Walther is a better gun. The big advantage the Glock is going to have is concealability, or if you're like me that I use a Glock for hunting, I conceal carry the 42, the 26, the 29. That trigger consistency across all those different calibers and sizes is a benefit to me. Walther, they don't have as many variations of this and different sizes of it, so you don't have that trigger consistency across hunting to deep conceal to regular conceal. But from a trigger perspective, you just can't beat this trigger. So that's really one of the things that'll probably come in to be a deciding factor. If you're getting new into this, you're probably going to start with the the Walther. If you've had a track record with Glocks, and again, like I do with the hunting, you're going to possibly favor the Glock just because of that consistency. But not because the trigger is better, just that up and down across the line consistency. One minor advantage the Glock has as well is it weighs 21.69 ounces versus 23.3 ounces. So it's a little bit lighter than the Walther. There's less of it, but overall this is actually a very well balanced, comfortable, easy to hold gun, sits in the hand well. The Glock has a tendency to feel a little bit nose heavy because there's so little grip. Overall, I don't think you'll go wrong with either one you choose. Both of these have been absolutely reliable. The Glock's got a long track record, but Walther, everything they put out seemed to just work. So Walther's track record is also quite good. Beyond that, if you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, click that bell up there to be notified if you do. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Play, or Rumble, pretty much everywhere. And thank you.